All right, friends, it's T-Man, and we back again with another video on guess who? Our favorite influencer, JasonBlaha, the lifting gym, lifting, recruiting slave, whatever you want to call him, man, whatever. Strength and baloney fitness. All right, let's hear what he has to say. JasonBlaha says, why we need more fiber in our diets. Why do slaves need more fiber in their diets? They don't.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here. I thought I would sit down.
Well, I mean, yeah, the slaves need more diet, but the rich, us rich people who are not slaves, we don't need that. We don't need that in our diets.
Another video for you guys and gals. Let me get a sip of my water first. Get my radio voice going, and let's talk about this. All right, why do we need a lot of fiber in our diet? And I want people to keep in mind.
Yes, why, Jason? Why do the slaves need a lot of fiber in their diet, but the non-slaves, they don't need it? Why is that?
When I say that, a lot of the best experts have said over the years that the more fiber, the better, and less.
Yes, the best experts, they keep telling you more fiber is better for you. You mean the non-slaves that keep telling the slaves to eat more fiber, why it's good for you slaves to eat it? Yes, please tell us, Blaha.
That is causing gastrointestinal distress. And we need to be clear there, that is something that we can build.
Yes, they're going to tell you that. The non-slaves are going to tell you it's all made up. It's all fictitious in your head, those gastrointestinal, all that. You need fiber. You need it in your diet. All that. Keep consuming more. Buy more so we can get richer than the last time. Okay.
To over time. And this is one of the issues we have of why so many people in America get over and say, well, I can't try to add a bunch of fiber to my diet. It tears my intestines if I have all these problems. Well, yeah, because you got to introduce it gradually. You are suffering.
Yes, you see, he's telling you slaves, you slaves have to introduce it slowly into your slave diet. You understand me, man? So it doesn't tear you apart. Yes, okay, slaves?
Negative health effects. So a lot of people's some of the IBS.
Of course, one slave to another. I mean, this slave has a lot of experience with the slave diet, so I guess he could tell you how to get over these problems that it's giving you. Okay.
Things they have is because they ate a low fiber diet. Typical American diet is too low.
Oh, so they've convinced the slaves that you've been eating a low fiber diet. That's why you need the high fiber diet. Okay.
Fiber. All the experts agree with this. We know that's a factor in our.
All the experts, the non-slaves out there that are fucking rich and making it in the world. Oh, yeah. Okay, Blaha.
Our obesity, our cancer, everything else. Our heart disease. That is actually a big factor. Okay?
Of course, that's a big factor. Heart disease, this, liver, that. Yes, man. You understand me, man? You people, are you slaves listening to this?
So when people say, well, I have to do this lower fiber, no. You've damaged your body already, and now you're going to have to go through a process to reintroduce it. But
see, you poor slaves, you have damaged your body over doing this. You have to take the process slow again. Yes, you slaves.
The solution is not to avoid fiber. There are different things you can do.
You heard this slave. He just told you, other slaves, it's not to avoid this fiber. Okay, slaves?
Work with this. You're going to have to get the fiber intake up. So let's talk about why.
Get that fiber up. Listen, get that fiber intake up as high as you can get it, the maximum. So remember, us non-slaves can eat the meat and the seafood, the good stuff, the meat, okay? We want to reserve the meat for us, and you eat the slave diet, the fiber, like, you know, the grass. Grass is fiber. That's what cows eat. These animals, they eat that shit, okay?
We need fiber in our diet. Right off the top, let's talk about the big scary one. Let's talk about cancer. We won't even go into all the others. We won't even talk about obesity. We won't talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about the cancer and all that, slaves. Don't worry about the cancer. It's okay. You eventually we're going to die anyways. The only problem is now we're having a problem controlling the young people dying from cancer now all of a sudden. It's been hitting younger people. We don't want that. We don't want that.
Blood sugar. Let's talk about colon cancer. Cancer in your butt.
Yes, let's talk about colon cancer. What's causing all this cancer in your butt, man? All right, slaves.
A low fiber diet is one of the biggest factors. Okay?
See, guys, a low fiber diet is one of the factors. Okay, slaves?
Keeping in mind, most cancers are lifestyle induced. Not saying all. I've linked the meta-analysis years ago to where they said.
Wow. Okay, so let's get this straight. It's lifestyle induced. Is that part of the slave diet? I don't know. I hear mitochondria is what causes cancer. The dysfunction in mitochondria, what causes that? Well, toxins cause it. Sugar can cause that, and toxins and oxalates. Okay.
Depending upon the cancer subtype, it's somewhere between
Here's the
10.
funny part. If you have to work so hard to convince you slaves, if he has to work so hard, this slave, to convince you other slaves that this shit is healthy, then it's gotta be unhealthy, because something healthy for you, you wouldn't have to fucking talk about it 24 fucking hours a day like he does. And trying to convince you that you need this shit and everything, then obviously it's gotta be bad for you slaves if he's gotta keep promoting it. So here's the thing. Something that's healthy does not need to be promoted, because it's obviously it's plain and obvious on the face of it. It actually works. It makes you well. I've never heard of a vegan slave I've never heard of a carnivore that went to become a vegan slave, but I've heard vegan slaves converting to carnivores. See that? It's always the opposite for these slaves.
To 30% are not factors related to your lifestyle.
Yes, it's not related to his lifestyle. Here's the thing. This slave suffers from every metabolic disease, skin disease, teeth, this, that, his hair falling out, everything else is sarcopenia now. He's becoming osteosarcopenia. He's going to convince you that weights have some magic powers to bring back bone mineral density. No, they don't. A heavy weight is not going to remineralize your bones if you're on a slave diet. What remineralizes your bones are nutrients, and they can only be found in meat. Okay, bro? Yeah, that's how you remineralize your teeth, you remineralize your bones, and everything else in your body, and get rid of all these fucking metabolic slave diseases. Okay, bro?
Right of the cases. The other 70 to 90% of people who get cancers, purely self-inflicted. 100% self-inflicted. May not
I don't know if it's self-inflicted, but definitely yes, because they ate a slave diet.
be their intention, but the fiber wants
It
you.
wasn't their intention. They're just so used to eating slave diets. They think slave food tastes good, and real food tastes bad. You understand me? Real food to these slaves tastes bad because they've never eaten real food. They've eaten the slave diet all their life, and so when they eat a slave diet, they can't distinguish between the two because they've been fooled from a young age. That's how you fool people. That's how you enslave people. You enslave them when they come out of the chamber. When they pop out as a child. That's why the old saying is a slave, how should I put it, a sucker born every minute.
I mean, let's be very clear. Everyone has been told this their entire lives. We know this. Gastroenterologists have been telling us since I was young, hey, a low fiber diet dramatically increases chances of colon cancer and other similar cancers. So in other words,
Of course, of course, I would tell them the same thing too. Look at us non-slaves. We want to convince this slave that to promote these things, of course, so we can sell more products to the slaves. We don't really care about your health. Do you understand that? Why the fuck would we?
you already know this. Okay? You know this. It's like saying if someone chooses to drink a bunch of alcohol,
You know this. You know this. You have instincts. You're not born with knowledge. You're born with instincts. And your instincts are telling you, you know that it's a slave diet in the back of your mind. And you know you're a carnivore up front in your mind. But you keep denying it because you were conditioned a certain way. You were conditioned to eat a slave diet. You slaves are conditioned. And so is this slave too. He was conditioned. You understand me? Now it's hard to break tradition. It's hard to break tradition.
well, they are literally asking the universe for fatty liver, right? We all know this. This is not uncommon knowledge. So you are essentially screaming to the universe, give me a fatty liver. Okay? I want that. That is what I want. If you choose to eat a low fiber diet, you are begging the universe, please give me cancer in my butt.
See, if you eat a low fiber diet, you're begging for cancer and all this colon shit and whatever else. Even though meat doesn't have any sugar or toxins in it. But okay, you can't digest fiber, cellulose. It's kind of obvious. It tells you everywhere in science. You can't digest it. Humans can't digest it. So what do you do with it if you can't digest it? Nothing. It's filled with sugar, fiber, sugar, cellulose, some water, and these anti-nutrients, toxins called oxalates and shit.
That is what you were doing. Now, people say that's kind of harsh. No, it's not. You literally want that to happen because that is what you are doing. If you are intentionally eating a low fiber diet, you are asking the universe or God, whichever you believe, to put cancer in your butt. You're asking for it. You are saying,
See, guys, you're asking for, if you don't graze like a cow on the grass, you slaves out there, then you slaves are asking for it, man. You have to keep consuming it. And then when you get cancer, don't complain.
do this to me. This is what I want. So when it happens, you don't get to cry any more than, if I take a nail and drive it through my hand and it hurts, what happens? You eat nearly zero fiber, you eat a bunch of fat in your diet, high saturated fat diet and really low fiber. Butt cancer is the desired result. That's obvious. So quit crying about it and just admit it that you hate yourself. All right. Now that we got that one out of the way, because I'm sorry, this stuff gets ridiculous. It has
You slaves, just admit that you hate yourselves, okay?
to be said. All right, the rest of the stuff. Cardiovascular disease. Lots of types of fibers actually help clear certain types of fat. They lower cholesterol, okay? They lower your bad cholesterol. They lower triglycerides. Again, LDL-C, the cause of atherosclerosis. Notice I did not say a cofactor. Not giving opinions. That is what the American Atherosclerosis Society has officially said. They're like, we have enough data now to prove that elevated LDL-C is the primary cause. We have causation, not just correlation. That is what causes hardening of the arteries. We know what amounts cause it. We know which amounts can completely stop all hardening of the arteries, because it is something that's going to happen over time, right? It is kind of something that's degenerative that tends to happen for most people. It's just the rate of it, okay? LDL-C is directly linked to the linear relationship with the rate at which we calcify the arteries, right? It's not
What the hell is he talking about?
even debated anymore. There are other factors you can do to slow that down, but that's the big one. It's the big one, LDL. Fiber can help. It's one factor in lowering that. Okay, so right up there, cardiovascular risk. Control of blood sugar. Big one. Helps regulate blood sugar. Helps improve insulin sensitivity. Also helps improve metabolic rate. A lot of people are not aware of that. Your fiber intake will affect your TDE. So when people talk about calories in, calories out, that's part of your equation. Higher fiber intake burns more calories to break it down, and it seems to have some other effects. It seems to slightly increase metabolic rate. So see where we're going with this? So let's talk about weight management. Let's talk about body fat. Well, fiber obviously helps you stay full longer, slows down the digestion of food, gives more gut volume, and this is irrespective of the fiber type.
Well, it helps prevent the nutrients in meat from getting absorbed. That's what it does. So overfed, undernourished. Yes, it definitely does its job properly. And it's undigestible. So yes, it's doing its job, its proper job. Undigestible, preventing nutrients from being absorbed. So it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. A bunch of things, yes. It's anti-nutrient, whatever else.
Where there's soluble and insoluble, we're talking as a general category. We're all going to be eating some of both. Most foods that have one tend to have the other. And anyone who's eating a whole enough food diet to have a lot of one tends to have the other.
That does its job. Spike your insulin. Yes. And a bunch of other stuff too, man. The oxalates, the crystals, the oxalate acid. Yes, the increase in it. This is great. More toxins. Yes.
So I'm not going to break down the individuals. But start looking at that from a weight management perspective. Weight can help you excrete fecal fat. So it helps you put a little more calories out, expelling it from even the fat side, okay? Helps you stay fuller longer, can help control appetite better. Also controls blood sugar, which means appetite and energy. More stable blood sugars, you have more energy to burn more calories, and you're gonna eat less. And it can help increase metabolic rate slightly so that you burn more calories. You see where we're going? Let's talk from weight management, just to help maintain, regulate body fat, lose body fat. Fiber is massively helpful, okay? So what all have we covered? Cardiovascular disease, cancers, diabetes, weight management. These are big deals. So when someone tries to say, well, why do I need a lot of fiber in my diet? There you go. Right? But right up on the top of...
Yeah, we need it so we can then walk around with inflamed bellies, the slaves, and keep them working. You understand me? Because it's cheaper to feed them, the slaves, to feed you fiber than it is to feed you meat. We non-slaves, we need that for ourselves, to keep ourselves healthy. Forget about you. Yeah, man.
This, because you don't want cancer in your butt.
Yeah.
That's not a good way to go. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today.
See, because you don't want cancer in your butt, you have to put up with all these things that come with the fiber, the anti-nutrients, the what do you call it? The toxins and poisons and oxalates and the sugar and everything else that comes with it, all the problems, and the preventing of absorbing nutrients and the anti-nutrients that are already in it. So yes, great, man. Very informative, Blaha.
It's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.
It has been extremely informative, and yeah, I would say it was informative. I don't know. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel, comment down below. Helps with the algorithm. It's a better slave than the last time for Blaha. Yes, slaving, creating more slaves. All right.